Welcome back, gamers! This is Create2Game, where we connect creators and gaming. I'm Moogli, and I have a little spooky Halloween episode for you this week. It's not spooky where you gotta be scared, and there's not like a super warning for this episode. I just wanted to talk a little bit about some spooky games that you could play in the coming week leading up to Halloween. So some of these I've played, some of these I haven't, but I just want to talk about a few popular games that I've been noticing a lot of people playing during spooky season. So let's start off with Resident Evil. This is known to many, if not everybody, as the game that defined the survival horror genre. In the original game, a special forces team goes in to investigate some murders in Raccoon City, but they soon find themselves struggling to stay alive. The franchise has not only a number of traditional games out, but VR versions, mobile games, and even movies. But I have never actually played or seen any of them. So I don't know why. I don't know if I'm living under a rock. It's just Resident Evil has always been something that's just there, that's just known. But yeah, I haven't played any of the games. So I think my goal for the week is to go on Twitch or Kick or something, YouTube, and find somebody who's playing a Resident Evil game and just kind of see what it's all about and maybe get a little spooked myself. By the way, if you know anything about me or have seen any of my streams, you know that I'm the worst person to watch play a scary game because I get scared from everything. Even not a scary game I get scared from. So yeah, you probably won't find me playing most of these games, and if you do, then it's a special occasion. Or I'm just trying to be brave. Like, I get really scared from playing Subnautica just because it's dark and you're underwater, but that's not on the list, so let's move on to the next one, which is Phasmophobia. Again, I have not played Phasmophobia, but I know a lot of people who personally have, and I've watched a lot of my friends stream this game. It looks really fun. It's great, in my opinion, to watch other people play because you're not in it. So Phasmophobia is a co-op psychological horror game where you and your teammates investigate to identify ghosts that are haunting the area. The game has 10 different haunted locations you can investigate using your awesome ghost hunting equipment and gather as many clues as you can. You can even use your IRL voice to interact with ghosts through the Ouija boards and EVP sessions using a spirit box, so that's pretty cool. They're trying to make it as realistic to ghost hunting as possible, I think. So you can either go into the depths of it, investigate clues, and get your hands dirty in all the spooky rooms, or you can hide in the van like me. I mean, you can help your team out by watching all the CCTV cameras. You know, you're still contributing, you're still helping out. You can get just as spooked from the van, you know, you don't have to go all in. So my take on the game is that it's fun. I just didn't want to buy a new game when this first came out and it was super popular, but still love watching people play it from the comfort of my own couch. So if you haven't played it, or if you have played it, let me know how it is actually if you have played it. One that I actually have played is Dead by Daylight. Now, I remember when I first saw Dead by Daylight and I did not want to play it at all. One of my good friends convinced me to get the game and start playing, and you know what? I did, and my mom thought I was getting murdered for the first few times because I just screamed nonstop. Now I'm pretty used to it. If I start playing again, I'll probably have that phase where I'm cursing and yelling again, but for the most part, I know what to expect, so kind of have eased into it. I think a lot of what's spooky about it is the unknown, or about any of these games. So when you first start playing, they're scary, and then as time goes by, you know what to expect, you know all the weird things to look out for, and that's how I felt about Dead by Daylight. So the game is probably the horror game that I've played the most, I think, and that's saying something since I don't really play them very often. I'll play a few here and there, and that's about it, but usually don't stick to them or play them very consistently. But I do know a lot of people who this is the main game that they play and this is the main game that they stream. And the good part about it, like many of these other games, is that it's co-op, so it makes it super fun. And you can play as the survivor or as the killer, so there's like a different take on that. If you just want to go around trying to attack people, then you can play as the killer. So a quick summary, the game takes 4 survivors who are trying to escape before the killer offs them. The survivors are trapped in a walled-in location, and they have to get all of the generators working to open the gates which allows them to escape. This is all while trying to avoid the killer, whose goal is to stop as many survivors as possible from getting out. You can either all work together as a team, all the survivors work together as a team, and you try to, like, you know, call shots to each other, strategize, avoid the killer. Maybe you take one hit on a hook while somebody else works on a different generator. Or you can completely screw over your teammates and you just, you know, every man for themselves it, and you escape and leave everybody else to die. I do not recommend doing that. That is not the fun way to play. This is a team game. Even if you're playing solo with 3 Randys, you gotta try to help everybody out. It's just good karma. Dead by Daylight's super fun. Can't wait to get back into it eventually. I just need to get a computer so I can have space for all the games I want instead of my little laptop and 6 hard drives that I own. No, I only own 2 hard drives, I think. But yeah, to make things even more fun, in Fortnite-esque fashion, you can play as characters from some of your favorite media, like the queen herself, Lara Croft, whom I actually just found out yesterday is in Dead by Daylight, so maybe I will start playing again. Of course, she's part of a DLC though, so who knows if I missed it, but that sounds pretty cool. I kind of want to get back into it now. If anyone's gonna survive the Oni, it's her. The game actually is on sale right now on Steam until November 3rd, so if you haven't played it, this would be a good time to get your little feet wet. Yes, we love the company. Lethal Company, that is. So this was a co-op game that I really enjoyed playing, I think last year or whenever it first came out with my friends. This game brings back so many memories. So when I first started playing, I was that person who only wanted to stay back and transport the items and didn't want to go into any of the rooms and actually gather stuff for risk of being attacked by any of the alien monsters out there. But once I got used to it and got a little brave, I was going in and out, I was making risky decisions, I was jumping over ledges and falling to my death most of the time, but still taking that leap. And it's been quite a minute. I think why I stopped playing was, again, I didn't have enough space and it would get very laggy. And I didn't want to be the one hosting the games and then my computer poop out on me and then, surprise, it doesn't work for anybody. But that's beside the point. Lethal Company is a game where your purpose is to travel to different moons for the company you work for and collect trash in exchange for money. The more dangerous the moon is, the more valuable the junk that you collect is. Each location has a bunch of dangers, both inside the buildings and just roaming around outside. So knowing which monsters might appear is a must for survival. And if you really dig into the lore, it's very dark. So if you're into the game, I would suggest going on YouTube and finding some deep dives into the lore. It's really mysterious and it gives you a different appreciation for the game itself. I just want to say, besides jumping to my death inside a building, usually from trying to escape just like a basic baby monster, that's probably my number 1 cause of death in this game, and then my number 2 cause of death in this game would be running like a carefree little child into a sand pit or a quicksand pit, and by the time I realize it, it's too late. So don't be like me. If you're gonna die, at least let it be because of like the spookiest monster there is. And lastly on my cute little summary spooky list is Slay the Princess. This is another game that I haven't played, but I watched Markiplier play it, so I pretty much played it. Just kidding. But this is a choose your own path game where the plot is to slay the princess, and you keep learning more about the lore every time you hit a dead end or die. There are a few key rules to remember as you make decisions throughout the game. So 1, do not romance the princess, it will not work, and 2, try not to die, but you will die over and over again. But you'll learn something every time. And not only will you learn more about the game, but you'll also learn about your character as you go along and who you are in the world. And I'm pretty sure that Each path not only provides a different outcome or a different narrative, but it also tells more about you as the main character's backstory. So that's pretty cool. The game's on Steam and has a demo in addition to the regular and deluxe games, so if you just want to try it out for free, you totally can. There are so many more spooky games, obviously, that I didn't mention. We just don't have enough time to mention everything, but Silent Hill is a really popular one. Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh my gosh, I used to work at a school and a bunch of little kids would play that game and I was like, you are going to have nightmares, and yeah, that was not cool. Choo Choo Charles, which I played a little bit of until my computer couldn't run it. That one was fun. I was screaming the whole time as usual in typical Moogli fashion. Slender Man, that one I also screamed the whole time. So yeah. Those are some other fun games you could play if you want to poop your pants, but just remember to be safe. Remember to lower the spookiness level to your liking or raise it up to your liking depending on how haunted you want to be, and have some fun leading up to Halloween. This week, I want to know what your favorite horror game is to play and to watch other people play, maybe if they're two different ones. Even if they're not scary, your favorite game could be the Rugrats game for PlayStation 1, and there was one part that was really scary. Or it could be Luigi's Mansion, you know? Scary games come in all shapes and sizes. So let me know what it is, and I'll be sharing some of your responses next week. That wraps it up for this week's spooky episode of Create2Game. Thanks, as always, for listening and or watching. You can catch me on Valkence Social at Moogli, and if you want to sign up yourself, go to social.valkence.com. You can also find me on all other social media at MoogliGames. Be sure to head to valkence.com for updates on all of the other podcasts and everything from the Valkence family. Also, send me what you're wearing for Halloween if you're dressing up. See you next time.